All right, without further ado, Briska, read Mindfang's journal. On the 14th by lunar perigee of the second dim season's equinox, the orphaner poses a caliginous riddle like no other I've ever met. I am presuming him bothered by jealousy, and it would be sickening if it were not so marvelously amusing. But then, who but royalty could have the finned cheek to show disdain for the manner in which his black lover conducts her red conquests? Less has accelerated meeker than I to homicide, and the violation would hold me aghast again if his misgivings did not complement his so endearing arsenal of quaint flaws. It is impossible to stifle this grin, even now as I write. He surely understands this as my maritime overlord, a superior, while through gritting fangs he would concede the expanse of my plunder makes his seem hardly worthwhile to trouble a map with good ink over. I know he understands. I will take what I want. I expect nothing less from Dual Scar, and truly nothing less. I, I expect nothing less from Dual Scar, and truly less would offend me. Is it the crude blood of the suitors from which I have taken enjoyment recently? If his displeasure is with my blithe treatment of the social order, then he has either not spent enough time in the warm company of my indifference, or is simply very stupid. I saw the look he gave. He's so secure in knowing I can't feel what's in his mind, he forgets the traitorous ways of his own face. His little looks are words to me, interjections in our deliciously bitter repartees. First a look as I summon a slave from the hold, with such ease between my remarks. Why, yes, Dualscar, they were the very slaves in your hold until but this hour. Another ship deployed carelessly, languishing in strategic vulnerability. Is this not our routine? Our dance? What is this look, my dear Kismissus? Is it shame? Envy? Contempt for what he knows will follow? I nod her over. She's fearful, and it makes her prettier. He scoffs without a movement or sound. I know there is disgust feeding the shadows in his corner of my block. At least prick her in the light, he surely thinks. Determine what vulgar hue she bleeds before persisting with your abasement, Marquise. Do try to understand, orphaner. Not knowing is the point. And if you truly understood this, your crusade against the Gamblignants would not be among our Grand High Blood's most uproarious punchlines. If only one truly needed to be so high to find it amusing. And so, not knowing, I take her will, but leave enough of it to enjoy her response. Her hands are in my service, but they still shake. They unfasten the first button at my jacket's waist, clumsily. I have masked the line between my puppeteering and her volition exquisitely, and her uncertainty over her own control fuels her fear. She unfastens the second button, and between the second and third, I make a casual remark to Dual Scar, continuing our conversation. He does not respond. I look again at the face of my slave, imagining for a moment her mind is not an unguarded port to her every dread. I imagine I cannot feel her conviction that it's not merely a matter of whether she will be put to the irons, but how hot they will be if she fails to please. Poor thing. Her horns make attractive shapes and pair themselves pleasantly amidst her violent snarls of my hair. Amidst her violent snarls of hair. Oh, I read that from the line below. Her fingers, which I have lost track of, to my surprise, have come between the petticoat and my skin. The heat of her touch tells me the likely range for the color of her blood. Wouldn't have guessed it to look at her, not with her sign stripped. Her mouth opens slightly, and I squint. Ah, razor sharp, and none missing. Perfect. How disappointing it is to find quivering lips hiding dull teeth. I pause to consider. What will her fear become if I choose kindness? No. What will her fear become if I choose to show her mercy later? And even in days, kindness. Will this be the red dalliance that becomes fully flushed? Love demands my cunning just as my raids. If it is to be, she will never understand how thoroughly she was manipulated. Her body, her mind, her devotion. I remember Dual Scar again. My distraction from our banter was momentarily absolute, and I inquire into the shadows. But he is gone. Then go, my kismisses. Fume with the indignation I gave you. I can only pray it blackens our bond. I must know such exhibitions agitate him, and hence why I bother. Otherwise it would be easy to dismiss him before I partook. Let it be a gift of antagonization to you, my dear rival, on which you may brew pitch for me anew. And if it is true envy, a vermilion yearning I can't abide, then though it pains me, it will be farewell. Alas, it may be that I am too good at spurring hate, too good at least for him. I only hope he is not so foolish as to tread a path of less torrid malice. For if he does, on the 16th, my suspicions have been confirmed. I'm not grinning any more, Dual Scar. Our orderly contention has dissolved right before my vision eightfold. It was once a handsome black, but now sits like good strong tea sullied and cooled by unwelcome dairy. Thus my heart was broken twice. I was fond of the slave. There was surely promise in her red investment. He had her assassinated. And so, I am visited by a bit of bad luck for a change. It's not possible to evade it forever, I suppose. I will simply have to endure the misfortune of observing his base and artless measures of retaliation. He's applied his own resources to increase the bounty on my head. I wonder if he intends such a laughably ineffectual gesture as anything more than a formality, a symbol of his intent. If not, my smile, how it threatens to revisit. Almost. I've broken laws, yes, but what has there been to pay for? If any act I've taken should demand a bounty, it was paid up front. I foot the bill myself with guile and supremacy. Honk, 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 honk. On the 20th, if only my hoard were as bottomless as his desire to disappoint me. He is set on cowardice, deferring to others to settle his score. Doesn't he remember what he's confided? It would be easy to give the evidence to her imperious condescension, and he would be killed quickly for his unthinkable presumption. He's taken a great risk harboring red ambitions for an empress who will never even know his name. Not that I'll sink to his tactics. But then he feels safety in knowing this. My resources say he is en route. On the 21st, I've learned Dualscar has reported to the Grand High Blood all the intelligence he has on me and my feet. It was information he'd guarded closely to protect our once mutually cherished rivalry. He couldn't let it fall into the wrong hands, lest another besiege me more effectively and cause me to wax for the usurper. Not that he'd raised that mess particularly high himself. The shortcomings I managed to overlook for the sake of a lover. I would have enjoyed witnessing the entertainment he prepared to please the High Blood. His sense of humor was dreadful. It would have been a true miracle if he had survived the appointment. Funny, I always imagined a grander entry in my journal for your demise, Dualscar. But I should have realized you would die as you lived. A joke. One more humorous little sacrifice kindly given to the subjugulators, and one step closer to the release of the vast honk they prophesied. I am overjoyed to understand now this was always your destiny. Honk, 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 motherfucking honk, motherfuckers. It's been nearly a week since Dualscar's fitting and all. It's been nearly a week since Dualscar's fitting end, and I'd all but forgotten the matter. It seems the subjugulators were not particularly inspired by his revelations about my affairs. Sources tell me their response was to commission one of the court's neophyte legislators to conduct the investigation and bring me to justice. Neophyte Redglare is reported to be quite talented. I find no reason to doubt this. Still, how can I be caused any unrest to learn their recourse is to send a lone, inexperienced bureaucrat to apprehend me? I cannot view this as anything other than full concession by the High Bloods. They now only seek to maintain the appearance of pursuing me. Maybe they find my exploits amusing? I couldn't possibly disagree. These rare moments when my superiors show wisdom come perilously close to restoring my faith in the social order. As for Redglare, it would surprise me if I ever heard her name again. If she finds me, then I welcome her challenge. But I am so confident she will play no relevant role in my future, I won't even bother peering into my oracle to satisfy my curiosity. 3 times showdown combo. Hmm. Honk. Oh. Clock. Flippity flip 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 flip. Flippity flip flip. Doof. Nap. Debunk. Bzzz. Goodbye, Eridon. Dead. Shades. Descend. Nice. Be Jack Noir. You are now Jack Noir. You have just murdered an innocent family. What will you do? Accessorize immediately. You begin claiming trophies to celebrate your magnificent triumph over the defenseless loving couple. The man's hat suits you perfectly. It is plain and serviceable. Yes, that looks so good. The only way the look could possibly be improved if it was blacker or bloodier. Take a prize from the lady. This beautiful scarf will look quite dramatic as you soar through the air, scouring the surface for new victims. It is finely crafted, and the fabric is wonderfully soft. Your powerful nose detects perfume. The odor is pleasant. Uh, wait, this pipe is great too. It makes you look dignified and thoughtful. Yes, this will be your trophy as well. Trophy binge. Yes. Yes! All of the glorious trophies will belong to you. There is no possession of the fallen so trivial that it would not make a splendid adornment to your intimidating visage. Wait, no. This is in fact so very, very stupid. Stop. This is no way for a killer of your elite profile to dress. Your rise to omnipotence has had a regrettable influence on your vanity, it seems. Have you forgotten the original grievance with the frivolous attire that got you in the first place? Have you forgotten the original grievance with frivolous attire that got you here? That's it. No more trophies. You are swearing off trophies forever. Probably. Okay. You will keep one trophy, but only one. You can never stay mad at Cal. He is a true friend, and only you have ever known. The only you have ever known. God, you are so bored. Sniff out new prey. Sniff, sniff, sniff. It used to be that when you were bored with paperwork, you would go distract yourself by sharpening one of your favorite knives, or give your most disapproving scowl through a fenestrated wall to survey the kingdom. But those were simpler times. There is only one cure for boredom befitting a demigod, and that is more senseless killing. You consult your proud, long snout for assistance with the hunt. You pick up the maddening scent of one of the young graveyard stuffers. You are sure it is the same one. You are sure it is the same one you slaughtered earlier, and yet his stench remains, confounding you from every direction. It is as if the breeze which carries it deliberately seeks to obfuscate the odor's origin. Your thoughts become more murderous with each blustery taunt. Jack, succumb to unfathomable bloodlust. You are consumed by murderous thoughts as you prepare to embark on a killing spree to end all. Oh, for fuck's sake. You start thinking about dog things again. Why do bones have to be so delicious and enticing? Suppress thoughts of unfathomable snossitors. Wag, wag. You successfully suppress all thoughts of delicious little wrapped wieners and infuriating things like mail and its agents for delivery. But in the process, you awaken your deepest and darkest feelings of all. Feelings of loyalty? How completely despicable. But no, that is not quite all there is. Could it also be love? It must be. It is the only emotion that could possibly make you feel so utterly disgusted with yourself. And it is surely why you couldn't go through with it. You could not do it. You could not kill the girl. Jack, contact DD? You get the draconian dignitary on the line. He asks what the hell you've been up to. You say it doesn't matter. You have a point of serious business to discuss with him. He makes sure you're remembering to keep the destructive impulses to a minimum. No more planet exploding or anything like that. You say, yeah. He says no point in securing power when there's nothing left to rule. You say, God. It's not the point. Lousy, stupid dignitary, all keeping your murderous tendencies in check. He's the most terrible guy you almost kind of didn't despise completely. DD, listen to SS. Wep. You attempt to humor the Sovereign Slayer's demands diplomatically. There is a narrow line to walk between obeying the orders of a clear superior and blindly facilitating a perfectly useless genocide. It takes a very savvy breed of morally bankrupt monster to pull it off. The Slayer is yapping about some girl. Probably one of the young players who can no longer provide any serious threat to your rule. But he wants you to go kill her anyway. You ask why he doesn't go kill her himself. He says it's complicated. This guy, you swear. You tell him you're busy with things that actually matter, like running this kingdom on his behalf and all. Levying taxes, oppressing consorts, all the unpleasant chores he would never dirty his snout with. He says this is more important than any of that stuff. You say fine, just send the droll after her. There was a moment of radio silence. He says you mean the courtyard droll. He wants to be sure that this is the same droll you're talking about. You say, yeah, what's the problem? He says you mean the very same droll who couldn't manage the one simple task assigned to him. To steal the White Queen's ring from the very same adoring, wonderful girl and master and friend in question. Wait. He says he just means girl. Just girl. You didn't hear any of that other stuff. You don't say anything. He says fine. You win. Sick the stupid droll on her. What does he care? DD? Contact CD? You hit up the droll. The Slayer was right. This guy is clearly incompetent. Still, the only real objective here is to get him to stop breathing down your neck with his awful dog breath. Looks like the droll's on the battlefield. He says he's still looking for the Queen's ring. He says he made a new friend to help him with his search. But it is terribly breezy on this planet, and his new friend keeps blowing around, making the search more difficult. He says thank goodness he's not wearing one of his finer hats. It would be just dreadful trying to keep it on his head in such weather. You say you don't care about any of that stuff, and tell him to shut up. CD? Listen to DD? The dignitary is one of your superiors who makes you nervous. The list of your superiors who make you nervous, in fact, includes all of your superiors. It includes many of your inferiors as well. 1 second. Can I... Okay, I muted that. Whatever. Doesn't seem like I can delete it right now, but they won't be able to chat anymore. He tells you, forget the ring. You failed your mission, and you're never going to find it. There's a new mission. You say, oh? He says, yeah, and let go of the goddamn rabbit. You say, okay, but don't actually let go. You say you'll be happy to begin the new mission very soon. But first there is this pretty blue tornado. Ahead you were meaning to investigate. Perhaps other locals it has attracted will know something about the ring. He says, for the love of God, will you forget about the tornado and the ring? You don't say anything, and look longingly at the tornado. Again. He says, fine. If you really must examine a meaningless and extraordinarily dangerous exhibit of meteorological phenomena, then go ahead. But be ready to embark on a mission not a moment later. You say, all right, and wonder what you should do to prepare. He asks if you have a good winter hat. You nearly drop the radio in excitement. Jack, wait. There. Now that those wheels are in motion, you guess you can put your mind at ease for a while. You find nothing quite so troubling as the intrusion of a positive emotion. Ugh. You are momentarily afforded the peace of mind to resume a dull, quiet life of semi-restrained murder. Maybe you'll wait here and see if the boy shows up. It's reasonable to assume he will seek these adults. Certainly easier to let him come to you than to follow an untraceable scent. Or maybe you will take a look inside this castle. Perhaps there are survivors here fit for the offing? You guess that could serve as some amusement. You wonder if it will always be like this. What sort of future does a new god have to look forward to? Will this malaise follow you for eternity? Will you be perpetually tempted to destroy everything you see, knowing that in just a few moments of recklessness you will be left with nothing else to destroy? Forever? What will eternity feel like when a single moment of boredom feels like an eternity unto itself? Thank you. You wish you could consult the clouds for answers. But they never show you anything. The reckoning can't wipe this place out soon enough. Be future Jack Noir. You are now future Jack Noir. Presently, you are trapped in a single moment, which increasingly feels like eternity. Your boredom is surpassed only by your all-consuming rage and contempt for existence itself. Hours ago, you entered an unfamiliar session. You killed 1,000 robotic assailants. You destroyed 12 planets with ease, methodically and cyclically, like a single stained hand of a defective clock, smearing each number it passes. You reduced Prospit and Durst to dust, and murdered a whole bunch of alien kids in yellow and purple pajamas. Your warpath of absolute devastation has only begun to be blazed. There were still miles and bloody miles to send forth. But when the dust of Durst settled, this infuriating fairy appeared out of thin air and froze you in time. But she can't keep you like this forever. And when she finally lets you go, you will be ready. What will you do? Aside from nothing, that is. Wait. You attempt to be patient. You fail. Miserably. Be Aradia. You are now the Maid of Time, recently resurrected from the crypt of Durst. Your name is your name is Aradia Megiddo, and for the first time in your life, you feel truly alive. You have just incapacitated Jack Noir with a spell. But a demon so powerful requires your full concentration to subdue. He will break free any moment. You may release him and die now, or you may continue to hold him and die later. What will you do? Aside from die, that is. Aradia, release him. You're done with dying. Soon, friends will arrive. They will need your help. Whose memory is this? It appears to be yours. At least, that's how it begins. Enter a bubble. Wait a minute. This is not specifically your memory. It's hers. Crack. Swoop. Hmm. Aradia, report discovery. Apocalypse Arisen began trolling twin Armageddons. Solux. Hey, what's up, eh? You will never guess what I just found. Won't I? I doubt it. Was it the matching ruined site? Um, yes. How did you know? I don't know. Just a weird feeling. I feel like we had this conversation before, and that's what it was about. Yeah, me too. What do you think it means? Probably nothing. But now, not only does it feel like we've had this conversation before, but it's going differently this time. So effects are weird. Maybe your voices are involved. Uh, he's kind of devolving into like fucking Daffy Duck. Jesus Christ. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe yours are too? I don't hear a goddamn thing. Do you? Wait. Yes. She's very quiet, though. I can't tell what she's saying. Oh well. Why don't we just pretend there's no spooky paranormal phenomena going on just once and talk about what you two wanted to talk about? Good idea. Okay, do you remember what we talked about regarding Kanaya's ruins?
Thorda.
I asked you for help in understanding the glyphs.
I guess.
Hmm. Are you just being difficult, or do you really not remember?
I guess I don't find the whole mystery of the ruins as exciting as you, okay?
Well, obviously, but I really appreciate your help anyway.
Sir, how can I help then?
Well, you said that you'd need another set of glyphs to make sense of them. You speculated there might be another set of ruins. You even guessed they would be blue. It turns out you were right. Don't you think that's pretty cool?
Oh, yeah, I am awesome about that, that's for sure. But I can't fake the feeling these ruins are going to be nothing but trouble for us.
But you say that about everything.
And that's because it's fucking true about everything.
No, it's not. I did find some other neat things down here, which are strange but quite harmless and not foreboding in the least.
Like what?
Like this amazing hat. It is an authentic archaeologist's hat. It's so hard to find them in this style. There are no horn holes, but I love it anyway. It's great.
Pretty sweet, AA. Hey, didn't you also find some bits and pieces? Didn't you also find some bits and pieces of your bizarre robot doppelganger?
I wasn't going to tell you about that. Damn it, how did you know?
I don't know. I just remembered some more shit about this discovery. God, sorry.
This is stupid.
Yeah, well, I guess this is the kind of shit you have to deal with when two psychics talk to each other about stuff.
Maybe.
Why don't we pick this up again later when you're not feeling so weird?
Well, okay. Apocalypse Arisen began trolling Twin Armageddons in Apocalypse Arisen. Ahem. Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to give you both the chance to remember. Sorry to interrupt. I wanted to give you both the chance to remember, but it doesn't look like this is going anywhere.
What the fuck?
Wow. What? Is it coming back yet?
Is what coming back? Who are you? Whoa, hold on. Why am I talking like you suddenly? Wait, whoa, hold on. Why am I talking like you suddenly?
That's so weird, it's Alex. This is a memory in a dream bubble. That's right.
Oh, that doesn't really answer my question, but okay.
You changed your voice because you remembered, like I did,
Remembered what?
that I died. This is my memory, and also hers. But I went on to become the robot whose remains are in this crater. Whereas she did not. I don't actually know her story or how she got here, but for me, this was the end of the road. This is the afterlife.
Well, shit. So I guess I'm dead too?
Nope. You are just asleep. You are also blind.
Holy shit. I can't see.
Yes, that's what being blind means.
Wow, awesome. Way to be awesomely sympathetic to my terrible new problem, AA.
Solix, will you shut up and stop being so tragic for once? You knew this was going to happen. Your prophecies of personal doom were practically all you ever talked about. I think you were looking forward to this, honestly. She's right.
I can't believe this. It's almost as if I'm getting double teamed. Damn, that didn't feel right at all. I think I might have to retire the whole bifurcation gimmick, puns and all. Actually, that is kind of a relief, maybe. You're right, I'm feeling better about this already.
Great. You should be able to relax now. Uh, you should be able to relax now that you've been released from the curse of your vision twofold, just like you said you'd be. You are now merely doomed.
Oh, that's awesome?
Being doomed isn't that bad. I spent most of my life that way, remember? At least you have the luxury of understanding. And the best part about being doomed is you only have to put up with it until you die. That's the spirit. Actually, I guess I don't have to keep talking like I'm doomed anymore, do I? Nope. Hmm.
This is so weird. What am I even listening to here? Ah, fuck. I cannot believe I just made that face. God damn it. Oh, yeah, also, why the fuck are my teeth missing?
I don't know.
Okay, well, great. Glad we got to the fucking bottom of that mystery. 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 Mystery, mystery, mystery. Man, I can't even lisp anymore if I try. Please don't laugh. I can tell you are both enjoying this. I can smell it using my new blind guy nose powers.
Really?
No, not literally. I was joking. I mean, not yet. Maybe I'll ask TZ about it when I wake up, though. Hey, what was that noise?
What noise?
I think someone is here.
Oh, it's Jade.
Jade? What the fuck?
Who's Jade? She's one of the humans we met after you died. Okay. I guess I am out of the loop on chronology for once. That's fine. You'll catch up. Hey guys. I hope I'm not interrupting.
Well, yeah, you kind of were. Sort of a reunion of close departed friends going on here, but no big deal, I guess.
Oh no. I can leave. No, don't. Solix, try to be polite. There is no reason at all for you to feel hostile toward them anymore. Jade is very nice and she did nothing wrong. She did nothing wrong. Love that. None of them did so when you wake up. None of them did. So when you wake up, maybe you should try to reconcile with them, or at the very least, just say hello.
Did you
Did I what?
be nice to them or whatever before you exploded?
Well, no, but I should have. I did with you before I left, didn't I?
I guess so.
This is awkward. Shush you. What actually happened after I died? It sounds complicated. It is. I'll get you up to speed, I promise. But guys, come on. Let's not scare away our guest. Okay then, I'll just shut up. I think one Aradia saying things is more than enough, probably.
You can say that again. But I mean, don't say it again literally, because that's kind of the whole point and would completely contradict.
Oh my god, shut up. It's okay. I can take another nap later when you guys aren't busy. No, Jade, it's okay. Please stay. I'm curious about why you are here. Well, I have just been enjoying these little naps more and more lately. Each time I go to sleep, I meet more new people and learn so much. But I still can't get Carcat to take a nap. Boy, talk about a guy who is anti nap.
Yeah, what a douche.
Seriously, he is the douchiest of crabby crabs who ever douched a big douchey crab.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's been fun. I should really thank Feferi again for setting it up so we could meet like this.
Wait, FF is here?
Yep.
Oh, God, why didn't that occur to me? Where is she?
Probably in another bubble, but you'll find her. Maybe during your next nap.
Well, shit. Why can't I just go glub around out there in the ring and fight her now? I mean, aside from the fact that I'm blind and completely useless.
Navigating between bubbles is difficult here. It's better to drift between them naturally as they intersect. Not spatially, but through common points in memory. To navigate the furthest ring, you need to have mastered the flow of time. That is why I am here. I am alive again, so I may assist the dead in this way.
Huh.
Jade, tell me, have you seen me here before? I mean, me dressed like I am now, wearing my godhood. Yeah, you were really nice and helpful.
Wait, what? You're wearing a godhood? Why didn't you tell me that? What gives? Or that you came back to life?
I'm wearing a hood and have butterfly wings. What else would you like to know?
Man, being blind is so dumb. Like, can I grope you or something to get up to date on your appearance? Would that be weird?
Uh, yes, Solix, that would probably be pretty weird. I think your outfit looks so cute. I love your wings, too. Thank you. Your outfit is quite spiffy, too. I like that skirt a lot, especially. Is. Is that a skirt? I am not sure.
Rolling my eyes is what I would be doing if that were possible. Shh. AA, come on. You were making a point.
Yes, okay. You see, those encounters you had with me before have not happened for me yet because I've only just arrived. Time follows strange paths here, as does space. If you travel a great enough distance, you may discover you are traveling either backwards or forwards in time as well. Just as if you stay in one place for too long, the geometry of space surrounding you will become unreliable. You may swat the air to your left and discover you have just slapped yourself. Nice callback. The only way to make sense of it is to understand either property very well. And since I am new here, I have some learning to do just like everyone else. But I do know one thing.
What?
I knew that the first bubble I would enter would be an important one for us to visit.
What's so important about it?
Hang on. We're moving on to a new memory. Hold that thought. It is important because it will help us begin to understand why we are all here.
What do you mean, why we are all here? You mean in the afterlife? That's easy. Because she's asleep, she's dead, you're alive, and I'm blind. Couldn't be simpler.
No, no. Not why we are in this bubble now, but why we all exist in the first place. And why we all went on this adventure together.
Oh, that.
There is much to understand, and I believe it all begins with one sequence of events. Watching will help those who've passed to understand the purpose of their sacrifice, and those still living to understand what must be done to complete the journey still ahead. We will let the memories lead the way. Are you guys ready? I am ready. Okay, let's allow the next memory to take shape. I believe it's Kanaya's. I will reprise my role in a conversation I had with her shortly after I discovered the ruins. Everybody hide and try not to spoil it for her until she remembers. Hey, Kanaya, there is something I want to give you. Oh, really? Yes, it's something very odd. I found it when I discovered the ruins the other night. I don't know what its archaeological significance is yet, but I suspect you will be able to repair it. This is a dream, isn't it? Wow. I mean, uh, wow. You figured that out very fast. It seemed obvious. Either I'm sleeping or I'm dead. Which is it? Oh, I am sure you are alive. You are unconscious now and will likely wake up as your new self very soon. My new self. Yes, you are undergoing a metamorphosis which you have been groomed for since you were very young, much like I was for my various personal iterations, including this one. You mean being a ghost, and then a frog, and then a robot, and then a fairy? Yes, but it sure sounds silly when you list them all like that. Kind of. What do you mean we have been groomed? Well, that is what we are about to find out, if you will oblige us by continuing with this memory. Okay, what do I do? Why don't we go through this conversation again to the best of our recollection? But I guess rather than acting it out, we can just talk about it the old-fashioned way. What was what we were attempting before not old-fashioned? I have no idea. It seems to me the nature of the afterlife is probably very old-fashioned, maybe even the most old-fashioned a thing can get. Yeah, you know what I mean, though. Yes, then. This was when you were about to give me that unusual gift from the ruins. Yes, and then I had Solix deliver the pieces to you so you could stitch it back up. Solix, that is your cue. Come out and play the part.
So we don't have to hide anymore?
No, of course not. Obviously, the jig is up. Everyone can come out now. Yay!
So, like, okay, so I'm supposed to act out what I did before when I brought her these shitty doll parts. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, I'm still not sure, Aradia. Are we supposed to be role playing? No, guys, come on. This isn't that complicated. We are just revisiting the past just like we would if we were talking about it. But it just so happens we can watch it happen as we talk about it. And as a matter of fact, this story does involve a role playing game, but not in that way.
This is kind of stupid.
You're stupid and you sound stupid.
Hopey says, I. Both so. Why the fuck am I Bob of all these teeth on me?
I don't know, but you may be waking up soon.
Oh, okay, great. So I will misread the cool story. Okay.
Maybe not if we hurry this along. I wait, before we do. Hi, Kanaya. It is nice to meet you. Hi, Jade. Um, what is that thing you were wearing? You don't like it? No, I didn't mean to sound disapproving, but I do think more colorful apparel suits you better. Yes, I know, you told me. I did? Yes, but you probably haven't yet. Not from your perspective. I could not help but overhear you are asleep now. You told me all about what happened after you woke up. About what? About how you turned into a vampire. What's a vampire?
This is ridiculous.
Solix is right. I mean, Solix. Kanaya, tell us what happened next. There isn't much to say. I repaired the doll and gave him a nice outfit, with a far more becoming palette and fit. Uh, with a far more becoming palette and fit than the absurd tatters he was found in. I thought at least. Yes. Uh, should there be anything else to this story? Not really. Isn't that Dave's puppet? Yes.
Hmm. Sis. Guess I'm out of here.
Bye, Solix.
See you later, everybody.
Bye. Anyway, that is all I can remember. I quickly began to find the doll unnerving, So I put him away. To my knowledge, he has remained secure in my block ever since. Is he relevant in some way? Guys, why do you have Dave's puppet? What is going on here? Yes, Aradia, it seems you have some foreknowledge of this narrative. Maybe you can tell us why any of this is important. This is only a piece of the story. The other pieces will fall into place with successive memories, and it will all become clear. But yes, all right, I will eliminate some suspense and try to serve as a better guide on this tour through the catacombs of our collective subconscious. The separate tunnels we once traveled in the dark as individuals we now retrace together with a torch. On the walls we illuminate the runes which can describe a convoluted origin story, an origin we participated in. We were spurred to these actions by that which was being originated, and incited to acts of revenge as we returned against each other.
I don't remember this. I mean, I remember getting jumped off the cliff by my legs, but not the thing I'm doing now.
No, our manipulator disguised his tracks well.
Uh, do I have to lie on the floor like this? Is that important?
No, Tavros, you can get up.
Also, can we, or at least I, be not in this memory because it's one that's not as great as most.
We will leave here soon. But you were doing something very important here.
What was I doing?
Writing a part of the code.
Tick tock. Yep. Tick. Tick, 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 tick.
An incomplete fragment consisting of 4 symbols, comprising the first word of a binary refrain, a pair of sounds emerging from the belly of a fabled tyrant's menace. But you authored only one sound of the pair. I would write the other. Talk, 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 talk. In the soot of my ruined hive, I scrawled my part of the code, completing the phrase of legend. The persisting sound said to accompany the ultimate demise of the tyrant, less an arm and an eye. But even these 8 characters, the scrawlings of charge, were still but half the code. Break, 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 break. There was another half by Scourge in 2 parts. One part, 3 symbols.
Heads, 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 heads.
And the other, 5. Why the scale was tipped in this way between sisters, I cannot say. Each fragment would be transcribed in our rulebooks, sealing the collaboration between Rustbloods and Bluebloods, completing the code for our session's architect. Not exactly. There was another fragment. Oh? Yes, an additional 8 symbols. From a wild card, I suppose?
Honk, 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 honk.
It came from a timeline not meant to happen. The one I came from, to ensure it wouldn't, thus sealing my fate. Vroom, vroom. I believed the fragment was gibberish from a lunatic, after completing his rampage through our session. Since it was not part of the scripted chronology, I was oblivious until it was too late to stop it. Not that it would matter if it did. Not that it would matter if I did. The timeline had already gone astray. I pieced together what had happened by sleuthing the various scenes and discovered the text which the code was recorded in. I decided to return to the Alpha timeline with the text, as evidence for his madness, I guess. In the Alpha timeline, this text was destroyed, An explosion caused by a computer virus. This explosion did not take place on my timeline. I had identified this event as the difference prompting the offshoot and returned to our planet via the reckoning just as I did at the end of my life, though that time deliberately, to influence events quietly to make sure it happened, and later join the rest of our doomed selves to help defeat the king, and others surely had similar responsibilities along the way. Honk. As for the book, I lost track of it shortly after I arrived. Yes, we all lost track of our books. They were gathered surreptitiously by agents assigned to the task. And in the veil, their codes were merged with the ghost imprints of other mysterious artifacts. Our first guardian was brought to life on the seed to pass through Sky's final gate of defense. The first to find Alternia. B. Scratch. You once again try to be Doc Scratch and fail spectacularly. You can't be him because no matter how hard you try. You can't be him no matter how hard you try. It isn't possible. In fact, I think it would be for the best if I commandeered the narrative completely for a while. I trust that you don't mind if I speak in white. It's not actually negotiable, but as a courtesy, I will enclose my words between a pair of visually audible brackets. I am doing this because I can. I am also doing it because I'm expecting a guest to arrive shortly. This should enable me to show the man the sort of hospitality he deserves, while doing the same for you. My apartment doesn't have a doorbell. Why would an omniscient fellow need to be alerted to the presence of a visitor? I know he will be right on time, which is to say, early. And if I did have a doorbell, and if I did have a doorbell, you would have just witnessed it ring. He is already here. My door is not fitted with a peephole either. Those without eyes, or without limits to their knowledge, have no need for peeping, and I am without either. I have never once peeped at or through something, and I doubt I ever will. Apertures built into physical surfaces to reveal what's hidden behind them are for those with particular handicaps. They are for those lacking advanced vision to render the opaque permeable to light, or those lacking advanced knowledge to render the concealed information irrelevant, or both. They are for people who I call suckers. I know the identity of anyone who stands behind this door, even in the cases where I did not have not extended an invitation to the visitor personally. Pardon me while I let Jack inside. Did you believe it would be Jack? Did you not believe it would be Jack? Who else would it be? Someone who would have suspected anything else is a person who I would also describe as a sucker. Hello, Slick. Won't you please Clock. Oh, for heaven's sake. Bonk, 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 bonk. Jack, stop it. Jack. Slick? Which would you prefer I call you? It's one of the strange points of uncertainty which surrounds you. Maybe it is that you don't particularly care. Your flair is for the plain and serviceable, isn't it? Not much of your vanity is tied up in a name, I guess. Not going to tell me? Fine, I won't tell you my name either. Well, I might. If you would just show some manners and stop hitting me with that ridiculous horse hitcher. It won't crack no matter how senseless the drubbing. I won't crack no matter how senseless the drubbing. If only it were that simple. You're not going to stop, are you? It will be very difficult to discuss our points of mutual interest like this. I was prepared to go about it in a civilized way, even though I knew very well I would spend the first several minutes of our meeting sitting on the floor while being flogged. I have even prepared a bowl of candy for you, which I know you will enjoy. Courtesy is important, Jack. Do you have anything at all to say? Any form of communication you care to attempt beyond the sound of iron against my head repeatedly? No, of course not. What's that? I see. You think you already know my name. You do not know my real name, Jack. Just as none of your adversaries on this planet know yours. You only know my nickname. It's a good nickname, too, befitting of the passive gunslinger discharged with initiating the break. I am my master's weapon, his soldier in a war of one bullet fired. But when that bullet clears the barrel, it won't be my finger on the trigger. I'm a facilitator, not an assassin. Here, Jack, why don't you go help yourself to some candy over there on the table? There is something I need to take care of before we continue. I won't be long. Scotty dogs, huh? Filling his pockets. Yes. Yes, good. Placate yourself with the Scotty dogs. Placate yourself with the Scotty dogs, Slick. My supply is bottomless. I am an excellent host. When I am finished with this minor interruption, we will resume our gentlemanly negotiation. I will proceed to beat you severely until you agree to do what I ask. I trust you won't take it personally. Now, please excuse me. I have to talk to a teenage girl from another universe. Be the teenage girl from another universe. You cannot be a teenage girl from another universe because you are too busy being a teenage girl from this universe. You are busy being Rosalind, completely preoccupied with it, in fact. So preoccupied you've been neglecting messages from some of your friends who are trying to contact you. But you have a lot of important stuff to do. You will get back to them later. Rose, pastor and foreman. It's quite warm here on Lohawk. I think I've been patient enough. When will I receive further instruction? Oh, God. It's... Now. So, I could have contacted you at any time. No, only now. I came away with the impression from our last conversation that our next would take place on your invitation. I was being polite by waiting. Your inevitable impatience caused you to contact me again. Inevitability is my invitation. That's pretty smug. I am right to be smug. I am omniscient, extremely powerful, and very charming. Well, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. Can you use your limitless intelligence to figure out which ones I mean? That was clever. If I plead ignorance to the fact that you are denying my charisma, it invalidates my claim of omniscience. But if I must adhere to my all-knowing status, it forces me to validate the unfortunate reality that you are feigning the opinion that my demeanor is unpalatable. Not that it matters, because I have all 3 qualities, and you know it. This is stupid. Can we get to the point? Yes, I was about to say, we should hurry this along. My visitor is beginning to set things on fire. You have a visitor? Who? Some guy. I was joking anyway. I am not in a hurry at all. You tell jokes? Yes. Ha ha. So your visitor isn't setting anything on fire then? Oh, he most definitely is. Hee hee. I'm not really getting this joke. I was joking about being in a hurry. From my perspective, this conversation is taking place in less than 1 second. I type very quickly. Hoo. I thought you didn't lie. Aren't jokes essentially humorous lies? At least those like the one you just attempted. Jokes are only temporary lies. If the falsehood is never exposed, there is no punchline. If the punchline is never delivered, the lie is sealed forever, regardless of initial humorous intent. Lies are not funny. I think if you're going to risk tarnishing your record of honesty, you should probably get better material. My joke was objectively funny. Who would know better than I? Okay. So you're saying an inaccurate statement doesn't count as a lie, as long as you say, just kidding, later? Basically. What if it's much later? Is it still just a joke? No, that would be something closer to a prank. I don't play pranks very often. Are you allowed to lie while about playing pranks? If I asked you if you were playing a prank on me, would you tell the truth? I am allowed to do whatever I want. I choose never to lie. I also choose to tell jokes now and then, and to play pranks quite sparingly. But I can say that I have never played a prank on you, and no statement I have made to you thus far, nor will make in this conversation, will contain any trace of falsehood for the sake of setting up a joke or a prank, with the exception of the joke I just made and another one I will make very soon. I'm starting to change my mind. Oh, oh, yes, I think your joke was funny in retrospect. Actually, your whole shtick is pretty good. I'm warming up to it. Yes, I knew it. Just to be clear, was the assurance you just made a prank? Uh, was the assurance you just made a prank? Was the assurance you just made a prank or a joke? Ugh, that was a rough one. It was neither. It was the truth. Was that? Yes. The truth? Yes. Okay. Were you serious about wanting to die? Yes. Why? I'll tell you later. Why? Because you asked. But why not now? Because that piece of information would not fit elegantly into the sequence of our exchange at this moment. Then you know how this entire conversation will go. Yes. Is that true of all conversations you have? Yes. Until briefly, I don't. But the dark spots never last long. The truth disguises itself to me, sometimes, which can be mildly frustrating, but it usually reveals itself quickly, much as if it was a punchline delivered. It's a humorous dialogue I have with reality, and it is very amusing. Then why do you bother with the conversations? Obligation to predestination, as usual? There is no obligation. It's a pleasure. It is? I've always had a soft spot for young ladies. Hmm. Hmm. That's a little creepy. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. It kind of is. I have looked into the future and determined that we would continue in this manner pointlessly for some time, so I am putting an end to it here. Uh, that doesn't make sense. Was that another joke? Yes. Good one. Thank you. How young are the ladies you typically take a shining to? And does this mean you are attracted to me? Suddenly, this conversation is kind of terrible. Of course I am not. Not in the way you mean. And anyway, you are applying standards of conduct frowned upon by your kind, which make no sense to apply to me. I am an immortal entity with a large cue ball for a head and no biological means of reproduction. Really? Also, if you were millions of years old, you would find that nearly every lady you encounter is quite young, relatively speaking. There should be no reason for you to feel uncomfortable with this interaction. Try to think of me as one of your kindly human uncle figures. In fact, if I were in your presence now, I would offer you candy to prove it. Oh my god. What? Can we talk about the scratch instead of this? Yes. You are situated near the game construct supplied by your session for causing the scratch, yes? Are you actually asking? No, that was a fact and then a question mark. Ah, well, yes, I am. It's a large plateau shaped like a record. It's called the Beat Mesa. I know. Is the game construct different in other sessions? Yes. It will always be an edifice of similarly cryptic design, located on the planet that is home to the hero of time. Its environment dictates the nature of its construction. Its power is dangerous and is meant to be utilized only in emergencies such as yours. You mean in sessions where victory is no longer possible? Yes, due to creating an unstoppable adversary who triggers the reckoning prematurely. Is that sort of emergency common? No. Failure is common, but the composition of yours is quite atypical. Okay. Then it's like a panic button for the players to push once they realize the cause is lost. Yes, but causing the scratch is not an easy task either. The construct must be destroyed in a very specific way to release its energy. The keeper of my ectobiological father began the process. It must be finished. Who? The guardian of the night of time. Dave's bro? Yes. How do I finish it? You don't. Not you personally. Another will. You have something more important to attend to, remember? Oh, right. The green. Wait. The green sun. Yes. I'd planned to take care of that later, once John had retrieved the tumor. Tumor. Whatever. Your plan will have to change. You aren't ready to cause the scratch yet. Like I said, it's difficult. What will the one who does it have to do? I should let them know. He will have to scratch the surface of the plateau across its full diameter. I see. This terminology can be very literal sometimes. You will require a certain needle to create a breach in the surface that will be adequate. I have needles. Your needles won't suffice. Then where do I get ones that will? Again, you won't. The task is out of your hands. The needles must be acquired from the denizen of the Witch of Space. The quills are very large and potent. They will be able to cause the scratch. This really seems more elaborate than you lead me to believe. Led me to believe? There. I didn't lead you to believe anything. I told you to find the construct and await advisement on the scratch. Your plans you were making were based on assumptions and fabrications of your imagination. You were writing more stories, just like those about your false magical men. I wish that I'd written in my private journals you'd be confided to your dark spot. I wish what I'd written in my private journals could be confided to your dark spots. I don't. I find your stories entertaining. You're being creepy again. No, I'm not. Besides, the White King agrees with me. Uh, what? For a seer, your vision of events surrounding you is rather limited. It's charming. Just please stop complimenting me. No. Fine. Then please at least try to sound more sarcastic when you do it. Oh, sure. I am really going to do that. Yes, very likely. Hmm. Then the scratch will be implemented later by either John or Dave, I presume. You used a male pronoun. Yes. I guess it makes sense that it would happen later. My understanding is that Jack will not be banished from the session until near the end of the reckoning. Yes, Jack will exit your session later, but this has nothing to do with the scratch. Not directly, as you imply. I don't understand. I thought that was the point of the scratch, to open a rift in space-time, as it were, and banish him into the troll session. No, that is not the purpose of the scratch at all. The scratch does not open a rift in space-time. Hmm, then why have you directed me to cause it? Does it have something to do with enabling you to die? No, not directly. The scratch has nothing more to do with my death than any other single event ultimately contributing to my demise. I think it's disingenuous for you to behave as if I have not been misled. You say you don't lie, but what of lies of omission? Lies of omission do not exist. The concept is a very human one. It is the product of your story writing again. You have written a story about the truth, making emotional demands of it, and in particular of those in possession of it. Your demands are based on a feeling of entitlement to the facts, which is very childish. You can never know all of the facts. Only I can. And since it's impossible for me to reveal all facts to you, it is my discretion alone that decides which facts will be revealed in the finite time we have. If I do not volunteer information you deem critical to your fate, it possibly means that I am a scoundrel, but it does not mean that I am a liar. And it certainly means you did not ask the right questions. One can make either true statements or false statements about reality. All of the statements I made are true. Unless you're joking. Yes. Ha ha, hee hee, hoo hoo? Exactly. Then I'll start asking better questions. Good. I will make a seer of you yet. Will you? Yes. You can start by shoring up on the reliability of your sources. You proceeded to question me, believing you understood the purpose of the scratch. You received your information about it from trolls. I assure you that in most ways, the trolls are as confused about everything as you are. Okay, noted. What exactly does the scratch do then? It resets the game. Oh, that's it? Yes. Then we all start from the beginning again. When John entered? No. The release of temporal energy will be quite massive. This is a hard reset. It will reboot the conditions of your universe well before you began playing the game. You will have lived different lives after the reset. The different initial conditions will ideally lead to a more favorable scenario in a new session. Unfortunately, you will have no memory of anything that has happened in the session you are in now. What will happen to us, everyone in the session now? You will all cease to exist completely if you remain here during the scratch. This seems familiar. It reminds me of when Dave and I were trapped in the doomed timeline, and he left to change the past. The timeline ceased to exist, along with my dream self, who in a way became merged with my dream self of this timeline. I kept some of her memories. Is the situation similar? Similar, but more severe. Since this time will undergo such a violent upheaval, such a meager merger of memory cannot happen. You will be resigned to absolute oblivion, unless you can discover a way to preserve yourselves. But it's not really my place to advise you on that. After you have dealt with the scratch and the sun, what happens to you is not any of my business. Then, can you at least tell me if we will be successful in preserving ourselves after the reset? I don't particularly enjoy spoiling things for people when unnecessary. I find speaking in a discreet color helps avoid this. So, if the scratch isn't specifically meant to banish Jack from the session, and our quest to destroy the sun is meant to kill him, Why is the reset necessary at all, especially if it means oblivion for us? Because you could not achieve the ultimate reward in this session. Your battlefield is cancerous, and the reckoning will destroy it prematurely regardless. By resetting, you will create a session which will bear the fruit of a new universe, even if you will not be the ones to claim the reward. Don't you want to fulfill your purpose? I guess. But it's a little disheartening to learn I'm not now faced with not one but two suicide missions at once. One to destroy Jack's power source and defend all of existence, and another to assure our cosmic progeny at the price of oblivion. That frames the dual objectives accurately. But if you are inventive, you may find a way to survive the reset and participate in the renewed session. It's up to you, just as it's up to you to face the decision to claim immortality before you enter your creation. Immortality? Yes. Do you mean ascending to the god tier? Yes. I have reason to believe that I won't. The trolls have not indicated I will die on my quest bed, or that any of us aside from John, or that any of us will aside from John. Instead, I've been given a more troubling and ambiguous forecast. What have I said about confirming the reliability of your resources? What have I said about confirming the reliability of your sources? Are you saying I will? No. Oh. Well, will I? It seems you'd like me to do some fortune telling. Fine. Maybe this question will suit you better. Is it probable? That's a strange question to ask someone who is omniscient and therefore knows outcomes with 100% certainty. I like it. Then what's your answer? You have exactly a 50% chance of ascending to the god tier. That's a strange answer. I know. Why such a precise probability? Because, much like the decisions you must face to complete your dual suicide missions, you have two ways of achieving godhood to choose from. Two ways? By dying on the quest bed on my planet, and some other way? Yes. Is there another quest bed somewhere? Yes. Good guess, Seer. Where? What difference does it make? You already know where the first one is. You have the choice to go there right now and take your own life. That's true. Of course it is. You mentioned immortality. Godhood makes one immortal? Yes. A god tier will live forever with no caveats? No. One will live forever unless killed. The death must be either heroic or just. How are those terms defined? Broadly, mysteriously, and according to the case of the individual. One may be killed by opposing a corrupt adversary and die for a just cause, as though through martyrdom. For instance, this would be heroic. One may be subject to corruption and slain by a hero. This would be just. Which sort of death will you have when I destroy the sun? Neither. I'm not a god. I'm a guardian, a servant, and a weapon. I have power and knowledge far surpassing a god, but I am not one. Is this when you are going to tell me why you want to die? Yes. I sense it's not just because you're getting bored with immortality. That's good. Your vision is becoming clearer. Then why? My master can't enter this universe until I am killed. Such is the nature of the break. That almost sounds like martyrdom. Are you sure it wouldn't be a hero's death? Quite sure. My master is a very evil man. Who is he? I won't tell you his name, but he goes by the title Lord English. This doesn't sound like an especially admirable objective. Releasing an evil man, who is presumably more powerful than you, an already omnipotent being. Am I right? You are right about both. It is not admirable, and he is considerably more powerful. But you must decide which objective is more important. You may decide to attempt to destroy the sun and end my life. This will neutralize Jack, who is also much more powerful and dangerous than myself by virtue of the ring he wears in addition to drawing energy from the same sun as I. He poses a significant threat to reality. But in the process of killing him and you, I release your master, who is just as deadly. He's more deadly. But the danger he poses is sanctioned by paradox space. It is a known quantity. His very existence in a universe will mean it will be inevitably torn apart. But there are rules to his entry, and his grim procession through paradox space is rather orderly. The present equilibrium has accounted for him, and will continue to. Jack, however, is a loose cannon. He will not stop until he destroys everything he encounters. Additionally, his existence is your responsibility. Then I guess I don't have a choice. You do, but also know this. Refusing to venture out to destroy the sun in no way spares anyone from my master regardless. It is certainly true that destroying it will end my life, and it is certainly true that the tumor you will deliver to its location has enough power to destroy completely. But it is not the only way to kill me. It is simply the way I have suggested to you, which doubles as a way to disarm Jack should you choose to go through with it. Instances of myself have spawned in countless universes, and my objective is always the same. I have never once failed to complete this objective, and I never will. There is nothing noble about taking a course of action you believe would prevent his arrival, because that is impossible. He will come. In fact, he is already here. Are you saying that I will succeed in the mission to destroy the sun? Are you asking for another palm reading? You seem rather keen on acquiring a fortune from me, considering you are the one with the crystal ball. I'm just trying to ask as many questions as I can. It's the only way to find the dark spots in your obstinacy. I've been very helpful, and I will continue to be. I myself do not care to be an oracle, but I can graciously supply you with one. Can you? An eager consort has brought you one of my seeds. It appears you have amassed followers who wish to please you. How fortuitous. Your seeds? The white orb. Oh, the cue ball. How did I not notice this? It will accurately answer any question a curious girl can pose, provided she can see through the surface to read its reply. Is that possible? Is it, seer? Given your title and all the tools of prognostication at your disposal, it seems to me I should be the one asking you questions. How can I see through it? It seems you weren't listening, so I will state this again in the form of a question. Don't you think I should be asking the questions from now on? Yes, if you wanted to be disingenuous and irritating. Don't you think a clever person will be able to acquire information from someone who only asks questions? Then it's a challenge. I pass. Do you have a choice? What if I'm feeling a bit stubborn? Okay, so what you mean is I should continue humoring your leading questions until you happen to ask certain rhetorical questions that contain information I need. Was that a question? That was a fact, and then a period. How does a seer see? With a crystal ball? I already considered that. I don't think I can get the focus of the ball to zoom in tight enough on the cue ball's enclosure to read the answers. How else does she see? By other magical means, I guess. Should I use magic? Do you believe in magic? Magic is real. I've been using it. Are you sure? Use whatever word you want to describe it. I have magic wands. They are very powerful, and they allow me to be magic. Your questions are silly. What makes you convinced the wands are responsible for your abilities? because I did not have the abilities before I made them. Could this be circumstantial? Could it? Is there an echo? Is there an echo? Hee hee. I don't know what you're getting at. How about another leading question? What did you combine to make those wands? Some stuff. Knitting needles? An inexpensive figurine of some fictional fellow with long whiskers? A simple textbook on the zoologically dubious? Why would this mundane combination of objects grant a child with such an alarming mastery over dark forces all at once? I'm guessing this is one of the rhetorical questions meant to be informative. So then my answer should affirm how ridiculous that sounds, shouldn't it? Maybe. That wasn't even a question. Yes, it was. Okay. Magic is fake, the wands are useless toys, and there's something else going on. Next question. Would it be so difficult to believe the power you've found to devastate your planet and create shortcuts through your session is not entirely by your own device? Would it be so difficult to believe a young lady could be unwittingly apprenticed by more powerful entities who bent her potential to be realized later through some arbitrary trigger? What would you say if I said a dutiful girl raised in the daylight was protected by a bulb-headed guardian and learned to glow in the dark after death? What would you say if I said a vengeful boy on a path of nihilism was taken under the wings of fearsome angels and learned to destroy hope with their light? What would you say if I said a reserved girl enamored by what dwelt in shadow was selected by the horror terrors for service and did their bidding at every step while convinced of her own autonomy? What would I say to those short fables? Not much, except I gather the third is a story about me, and that there's a lesson you'd like me to take from it. That I should renounce my allegiance before my grimdark corruption is absolute. And while I'm at it, I should discard these useless wands because apparently the power was in my little black heart all along. Is that right? Won't you have to give up your specibus to the one who causes the scratch regardless? How else will the young man wield that great big needle? I don't know. If you say so. Haven't your friends already shown concern for your recklessness and an increasing sense of detachment from the party, the team objectives, and not to mention those of your personal quest? Does this worry you? Is there a part of you left that's able to worry? Yes, it has been mysteriously localized to my middle finger. Well, could the dark magics be at work again? Do you deny that you have been neglecting incoming messages from your teammates? Would that be in keeping with the spirit of the human emotion of friendship for one whose soul was not so befouled with the designs of unknowable monstrosities? Friendship isn't an emotion, numbnuts. Isn't it, Rose? Isn't it? I've been busy. I'll get back to them. And can we please stop doing the patronizing question thing? In exchange, I promise I will discontinue my patronizing responses. Can the omniscient be patronized? The the omnipotent can do whatever they please. I guess I'm just asking you nicely to do me this favor. Very well. I guess I will stop smothering you with surprise noodles. Huh? But only because I find you to be so adorable. So creepy. So cute. Yuck. Blech. Ugh. I'm going to ask the same question I asked earlier. Please do not regard it as a violation of my pledge. It is just an ordinary question, just like those that crop up in an ordinary conversation. Okay. How does a seer see? I don't know. Be literal. With her eyes? Take the orb. Ask it a question. I don't know what to ask anymore. I'm confused. What would you ask me? I would ask what I should do next. Then ask, what should I do next? Not me, the ball, dunkass. Rose, ask.
Answer, Jade. Rose, answer.
Sorry for the delayed response. Answering seems to be what to do right now. Rose, jeez! Finally, you sure do seem to be absorbed in whatever you're doing on that computer. Were you talking to someone? Oh, right. I forgot I gave you the code for the crystal ball. And here I was, thinking I could safely delay responding to messages without seeming like an ass, the way it usually works. Oops. Oh, no, no, I don't blame you for not responding. You must be very upset. Are you okay? Why would I be upset? Um, because, I figured you would have found out by now, but I guess you still don't know? No. What? About John's dad and your mom. Rose? Hello? Oh no. Rose, please say something. You are making me nervous. I should have gone looking for her. Why didn't I? Because you were busy trying to make the best of the situation? John was too, but he went out to look for his father. It would have been normal of me. I can't remember what I was trying to prove anymore. I don't think you should be so hard on yourself about it. John was being John, and you were being you, which I guess meant taking our problems very seriously and putting all your attention on solving them. And anyway, you and your mom had a much trickier relationship than John and his dad, didn't you? I mean, not that I am saying that means you were any less attached to her than him. Arg, I don't know if I'm very good at consoling people. Sorry, Rose, I don't want to make you feel worse. You're doing fine. For someone raised by a dog. Or really, anyone. Thanks. You. Okay. Excuse me. You know, now now we have all lost guardians. Dave lost his, and I lost mine in a weird way. Even though that was pretty much definitely my fault. And even the trolls all lost their monster guardians. I think maybe it is an inevitable part of a game that can be cruel sometimes. For some reason, despite all the danger, I never thought she was in any trouble. I never believed she would actually die. I grew up with the feeling that something more significant had always been meant for her. That she was a heroine displaced in some way, resigned to the inglorious duty of raising me and preparing me in her way. I didn't actually need the ectobiological verification that she was like a mother and a sister at the same time. I always understood that somehow, and I felt she had knowledge and ability beyond what she let on. It was always intimidating, but nonetheless a source of respect, which was childishly begrudging on my part. I think she was just waiting for me to catch up with her. But now I can't. Oh, I am so sad. Rose, I think you are being stronger about it than I am. Probably because my emotions have now ceded to anger. This shouldn't have happened. Oh, well, I just hope you aren't thinking of doing something rash. I already was. I was going to go to sleep, fly to a sun bigger than our universe, drop a bomb in it, and kill myself.
Yeah.
So if my course of action is to change on account of my mood, it can only become less impetuous, don't you think?
I don't know.
You never liked my plan very much anyway.
Well, no. But I was trusting that you had thought it through, and it was our best hope.
I'm not sure if I did. Maybe it was a terrible plan. I made it without full understanding of the nature of the scratch.
Hmm. Then what will you do?
I could stop being so cowardly for once. I could short circuit this endlessly expanded game of chess we're playing, just like Jack decided to do.
What does that mean?
Maybe I will go kill Jack myself. Right now.
Oh, no, 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 no. Rose, that is a much, much, much worse plan. He would probably kill you.
Probably. But the scratch will wipe us out anyway, and reboot the conditions of our session. I suddenly don't feel much like sneaking through the back door of the furthest ring for retribution by a distant supernova.
I know what you mean. I was angry at Jack and wanted to stop him too, but we have to think of a more sensible way to do it.
Whether my existing plan was sensible or not, I may have been allowing myself to be manipulated by an omniscient being regardless.
What? Who?
Hello, ladies.
What?
This is a private conversation. Private even to those who know it word for word already. Proceed. I will be here. Watching. That line. Foreshadowing, yo.
Rose, who is this?
Ignore him.
I don't even know what's going on anymore.
You were discussing Miss Lalonde's intrepid new variation on suicide. As one with a passion for the subject, I'm intrigued. Shh. Anyway, if it's true the gods have selected me for service, maybe the power they've given me will be sufficient. Maybe they wanted me to kill him all along. Hee hee.
Shh. Please don't, Rose. I know you are angry, but you aren't thinking straight.
But I am. I'm fully aware I'll probably die and fail. Scratch happens, we start fresh. No recollection, no problem.
No.
Jade, as an ambassador of Skya, maybe you'd be willing to talk some sense into your friend? You should understand she's been corrupted by various entities with some rather questionable motives.
Rose, maybe the white text guy is right. The dark gods gave you all these powers and seem to be helping us with dream bubbles and stuff. But what if they're not actually good?
They are enormous, ugly, and live in darkness. That doesn't necessarily make them bad.
No, but I still don't trust them.
If only there were a way to make this determination with certainty, through a reliable source within reach. For instance, at this exact moment, perhaps one that is spherical and devastatingly handsome.
What's this weirdo talking about?
The cue ball.
Oh, yeah, I noticed you'd found it. I was worried it had been destroyed when my room blew up. Is he saying you can use it?
Yes, and he is right.
Oh my god, does it work?
It advised me to talk to you just now, so I guess so.
Then maybe you should try it.
Yes, Rose, listen to Jade. She is far less manipulative than I. What are you suggesting I ask him?
Well, since we don't know much about the gods, why don't you ask it about them?
So you're saying I should ask it if the gods are evil?
I guess that's one way to put it.
Even though at this point neither of you is highlighting my text to read it, this idea gets my vote. Go ahead. Ask, Seer. Seer. Ask. Are the gods of the furthest ring evil? Rose, go dark. You slip into the fabled Black Death trance of the Woe Gothics, quaking all the while in the blood eldritch throes of the brute-fester tongues. You advise the members of your complacency not to be alarmed, as they chronicle the event in tomes bound in the tanned, writhing flesh of a tortured hell scholar, with runes stroked in the black tears bled from the corruption-weary eyes of 50,000 imaginary occultists. But they fail not to be alarmed. This is because, as is now painfully obvious to anyone with a brain, you have basically gone completely off the deep end in every way. You have officially gone grimdark. Rose, resist urge to seek revenge. You make a half-hearted attempt to resist the urge. Alas, one is not easily shaken from the brood-fester tongues. They are stubborn throws. Big man, request timeout. Alright, homies, everybody, all y'all, hold up. The big man wants to take a time out. BM, wreak some havoc. The big man's about to wreak some havoc in the yard. The court is on fire. Request ruler. Dude, come get the ruler. Check this out. Dude, hurry. Look, she's escaping from above. Okay, dude, no. Okay. How am I going to wreak some havoc in the yard with a meter, you chump ass? Again with the metric system. What is it even with you and units, man? It's like you must be toking up on a joint to make you stoned or something. I can't even think of who leaves all their rings lying around like that. It's is so infuriating shit. Where's the manager? Dude, no. Let me show you. No. 8.56 senator meters. Fuck no. Dude, you got to snap it broke ways. Snop. It was at that point you got distracted by the author's hot self-insert. Who were you expecting? The Easter Bunny? You probably want to know how involved the big man wants to get into the story. How much will he fuck this up? Well, all if got to say that is hoof want to know. I want to know. Tell me, and please be smug about it. All right. As the indulgent self inserts grow in frequency, you may find yourself increasingly afraid that my direct interference with canonical events approaches inevitability. But you should understand that I am dealing with forces which, if handled recklessly, will nullify the basic ability of intelligent beings in all real and hypothetical planes of existence to give a shit. It would be stupid of me to mismanage these forces, and even stupider of you to worry about it, because it would be stupid for you to think I was stupid. In fact, I feel a little dumber just thinking about it. When the time comes, I will interact directly with the events of this narrative. But this moment will be responsibly confined to a passive intervention. It will be compact, surgical, and essential. My involvement will have such precision I have even managed to quantify it in units of physical measurement. I will be involved in only the narrow corridor of space through which light will pass in 3 nanoseconds. My window of influence, end to end, will be exactly 1 yard. Okay, anyway, let's get back to John. John, locate tumor. John, look around. Hmm. John, look inside. Hmm. John, take tumor. Return to surface. CD, approach locals. You and your rabbit friend approach a gentleman wrapped in a fine white cloth, and his courageous cohort, a young man riding a great gust of wind. You are so impressed you forget what you were supposed to be doing. John, reunite with Liv Tyler. Sweet, precious, beautiful Liv Tyler. You thought you'd lost her forever, just like Bruce Willis did when he blew himself up with a nuclear bomb in the center of the asteroid the size of Texas. His heroism and fatherly pride were also the size of Texas. But your love for Liv is not fatherly. Oh no. This reunion is with no loving daughter, but a loving movie star fantasy crush, who happens to be in the form of a robot bunny which has traveled through time and been given as a gift on 5 separate occasions, twice by you and thrice to you, and originally fished out of a sewer by Nicolas Cage on the silver screen. You forget the point you were supposed to be making. But you wonder where all of her sweet weapons went. She indicates in the language of plush toy pantomime that she has no idea. They all blew away in the bonk breeze. John, retrieve tiny hammer. This tiny hammer is so ridiculous. Too bad it is not the right size. You would love to wallop some imps with such a fanciful weapon. You guess you could just go around giving them little bops on the head with it? Like a silly gavel. No, that would be too absurd, even for a great prankster like you. You will discard this rubbish immediately. Wait, what is this? Miss Tyler is handing you a note. John, one more thing. This rabbit, I'm sure you've noticed, is armed to the stitches. He's got all four of the funny little weapons I mentioned that are as deadly as the fucking Dickens. But that doesn't mean they are meant exclusively for the paws of Mr. Terry Kaiser. That is the name I will call him. That is the name I call him. Heck no. You see, I adapted Terry with some doodads you may deem practical. An infinitesimalator, which I used to littlefy them down in the first place, as well as a monstrosifier, for when you would like to hugen them up and wield them yourself. He's surely got enough juice in him that would make him to make them enormous if you wish. But that's silly. Why would you even what would you even do with, say, a magic needle the size of a skyscraper, for instance? Preposterous. I borrowed this technology from my grandmother, who has quite the way with manipulating space. Legend tells she was something of a witch with the stuff. Once she was a brave hero, like you and I, John, and the stars themselves twinkled in her cauldron. I would like to tell you who my grandmother is, I really would, but I can't. I think I have trouble keeping secrets. I like to be honest, just like you, and a lot of secrecy after a while gets me feeling a bit jaded. Green means grow, red means shrink. See you soon, pal. J. Grandmother? You wonder who that could be? It's probably just Jade. What with all the time shenanigans? John, Huge and Hammer. Ah, 1 zillion. You got the Warhammer of Zillyhoo. Behold, the glory of Zillyhoo. You are so delighted by your rad new hammer and the cool hugening abilities of Liv Tyler or Terry Kaiser or whatever her/his name is. Who the hell is Terry Kaiser anyway? Probably a movie star from the future. Who cares though? Your bunny will be Live for life. Hearts, hearts, hearts. You wonder what other neat things you can get Liv to monstrosify with her sweet eye beams. Right? Behold, the Zilly Hammer. And the biggest plot hole in all of Homestuck, which is Gamzee sized. Wait, what happened to her green eye? Burp. And why is she feverishly gesticulating toward the fellow in the ghost sheets? This is so ridiculous. You cannot turn your back on these people to admire your a beautiful hammer for even one moment. You think that is enough fooling around. It is time to get down to business again. The serious business of being an important and heroic leader. Wear the hood. Be the leader. You are not their leader. You are their friend. There is a big difference. You prepare to issue your party a highly authoritative series of friendly requests. First, you request that everyone settle down. The squat fellow mediates between the two bickering parties and patches up Liv's missing eye. And she is nothing if not accustomed to decades of repair work and quickly resumes her plucky demeanor. You then, in your most leaderly way, ask Liv to pilot that enormous battleship. She will now be known as Captain Tyler. She littleifies the ship down to something more manageable for a small bunny captain. Everyone is impressed. You give your wallet to your loyal chauffeur familiar. He looks puzzled. You inform the party that you will not be going on this journey. You must remain behind and continue looking for your father. But you insist their mission is the most critical of all, and you know they can handle it. You believe in them. You instruct Captain Tyler to set a course for the ship's home. They must fly to Durst and deliver the tumor to the moon. Everyone salutes their intrepid friend leader. This is what teamwork is all about. And this guy. You guess this guy can go along and help out? Hey, who even is this guy anyway? You guess it doesn't matter. He seems nice enough. Bid farewell. Godspeed, heroes. You have all the faith in the world that they will be successful. As a friend leader, sometimes known as a pal honcho, you have done an amazing job. You've come up with a plan and politely ordered your loyal team to execute it. It is all falling into place perfectly. You are quite sure you have not failed to account for even a single thing. Garden Gnostic began pestering ectobiologist. John, I am worried about Rose. I'm pretty sure she's on her way there to look for Jack. I can't say for sure because I can't see her with my goggles anymore for some reason, but I am fearing the worst. Just in case, you should try to intercept her before she does something stupid like try to fight him. Also, I guess you probably still don't know about your dad yet, do you? Ah, darn. Why do I always have to be the one to break terrible news? John? Oh God, please don't tell me your computer was in the wallet you just gave that guy. Damn it, John. One of these days you will learn the value of having plenty of backup computers. In fact, whenever you finally leave the battlefield, I am going to give you the code for a nice pair of lunch muffs. And then I am going to force you to keep them on your head at all times. Yeah, you're never going to read this, are you? Uh-huh. Something is happening on the other side of the planet. Something ominous. Something grimdark. You are so glad that grimdark is a real word, so that when things like this happen, they may be described as such. Maybe your dad is over there? You believe you will investigate. Approach grimdarkness. John! John! You're heading into the blackout, so I won't be able to see you until you leave. But don't worry, I can still sense you are there. Because of awesome powers, remember? Smooth move ditching your computer like that. By the way, smooth move ditching your computer like that, by the way. That was some incredible leadership you showed. Now I have to contact you through Rose, thus exposing me to the risk of actually having to talk to her. Your carelessness has put the heroes of light in a very awkward position, John. I hope you're satisfied. Just kidding. She's obviously a little too preoccupied at the moment to be sassing me. Just borrow her computer and talk to me when you get the chance, okay? I will be waiting. Seer, descend. There is no sign of Jack up here. Must be somewhere else in the castle. Examine tapestries. The series of banners is titled, They Wait. They wait for he who would extinguish candles whilst fanning a fire. They wait for she who would thaw solid flesh and resolve it into a dew. They wait for she who would breathe lilac out of the dead land. They wait for he who would drop it like it's hot, whilst the pimps in the crib. Okay. Talk to soldier. He is too frightened to speak. He seems to be indicating that the only reason he survived this massacre was by hiding behind this pillar. Ah, thank goodness for pillars. You got a trophy. It bears an inscription. Our glorious speaker. His head was lopped clean off with some sort of sharp, sword-like object. Someone around here sure must hate frogs. You wonder who it could be. It's probably Golly, Jack. The stairs are blocked. You supposed you could easily remove the obstacle, but that would spoil a perfectly good opportunity to look for secret passages. Her hands are in my service, but they still shake. They unfastened the first button in my royal gown's waist clumsily. This is erotic fanfiction written about the queen in the first person. This doesn't belong in this library. This doesn't belong anywhere. That's Mindfang. Oh my god. More books. You really have better things to do than read a lot of books written by chess guys. Books, books, books. Data structures for assholes 2, now written to accommodate the shortcomings of the terminally obtuse. Grimoire for summoning the zoologically dubious. This is apparently on loan from the Dursite Library. It seems unlikely to be returned at this point. You got a trophy. You think you know what you might find on this shelf. Just a hunch. Yep, more books. Rise of the Slayer, a horror story meant to scare children. Writers of prospician fiction tend to write what they see in clouds. Hence their fables tend to be events which simply haven't happened yet, or happened in another world. They like to use the word fiction so that kids don't get too scared. Problem Sooth. You've been meaning to read this one. Absolutely required reading for any promising young seer who has blundered into entanglement with the occult through an absurd sequence of events. You find an ancient unlabeled poem and read an excerpt. Though we adore him, we shall never enjoy his beauteous croak. We spill our blood on acres of black and white so they may cross the yellow yard. At last, in Skaya's reflection through broken glass, he may find the pond in which he's meant to squat. Journey to the center of the battlefield. It looks to be a fairy tale for youngsters. The hero is a dashing young man in a blue hood. He heals the planet from within, but can do nothing to stop its annihilation from above, nor its soon-to-follow eradication from reality. It must be sad growing up in a culture whose mythology is almost completely centered around futility. This is a book based on theoretical physics and complex spatial geometries, based on the hypothetical addition of orbs to the Queen's Ring. The shapes in the diagrams are very complex. This sort of nonsense is regarded as crack pottery at best. Why would the Queen ever wear more than 4 orbs? 4 towers, 4 orbs, 4 heroes. This is a sacred truth. A foot soldier's guide to combat. Most of the diagrams in this book involve a soldier advancing by a single tile, either straight ahead, or diagonally when lunging with a weapon. And no wonder these guys are so easy to kill. Advanced frog breeding for beginners. Difficulty level extreme. For idiots. Wait a minute, did I open that box? I didn't. You got a trophy. You got a flaming meteor chunk. It isn't even treasured. How's this treasure? Talk to Soldier. She is apparently swooning over a hero of lore shared by the 2 kingdoms. A great man who united opposing sides against his tyrannical king. The revolt ended in tragedy, of course, which is typical of their folktales, but it is no less inspiring. You got the Banner of the Villain. You suddenly feel inspired. It is in a generally rebellious, united sort of way. She is all aflutter about a legendary hero. Some guy who is weary of war, apparently. A simple farmer, handsome and brave.
you think you're beginning to fall in love with him too. He appears to be relieved that he and a handful of fellow soldiers have found a secret hideaway to escape the bloody rampage. Maybe, if they regroup and marshal all their remaining forces, they can take this guy. Yeah, right. She looks scared and confused. There's nothing left to do but hide. This fellow is mourning the dead. He has probably lost many friends today. First, he was frightened when you barged in here, and then briefly excited, and now disappointed. He must have thought you were the great Dark Kingdom's defector, come to save them. Alas, it was only a spooky girl with magic wands. It is a holy parchment. Maimed clown, undead cat, impaled crow, omnipotent dog. These four shall be held in reverence for the eternity they serve to cut short. You're sick of reading. Gotta find Jack. Transportalize. Something's blocking it from the other side. Examine slain beast. You've never seen anything so sad in your entire life. The beautiful, muscular man stallion struck down in his prime. What monster could be responsible for this deed? It was Jack Noir. One. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hi, Rose. Wow, I did not expect you to find you here. You're going. What? Also, why are you all gray like that? You look weird. Rose, I can't understand a word you were saying. It is a lot of silly speaking gobbledygook. Wait, I know what's going on here. It finally happened. You have gone grimdark. Told you, Rose. I warned you about... what did you call them? The Broodfester throws? It's okay, Rose. Don't worry. We will find a cure for your stubborn throws. But I'm still trying to find her parents. I thought my dad might have come to this castle to check out that huge black rain cloud. Did you see the cloud, Rose? It's pretty awesome. Look, hold that. What? You sound kind of upset. What is it, Rose? You're fling goblin gang. Aha, that! Wait, are you talking about our parents? Oh man, you mean they're here? Are you saying they are in trouble? Oh no, Rose, we have to go help them. Yes, I am frustrated too, but there is no time for such lamentations. Do you think you can find them again? Great! I can't wait to see my dad. It feels like it's been forever. Please lead the way. Please lead the way, Rose. Remove idol.
Examine statue. How they make such a cute couple. The king and queen are pretty nice too. Heh. This is where John came from. No use backtracking now. Gotta take him to see mom and dad. Oh no! Rose, what happened in here? Was it Jack? Are you saying it was Jack, Rose? What's that, Rose? Are you getting aggravated that I'm talking to you kind of like you are a dog? That is a really nice pillow, by the way. It goes well with your weird dark skin and gothy ensemble. You're welcome. To shreds. All but one for some reason. Who could have possibly? It was Jack, stupid. By the way, did you know that Carcat thinks we're supposed to get married? Wait! I hope that didn't come off as a proposal or anything. Sorry, I'm just making conversation. I guess I am a little nervous. Because technically, this is the first time we have ever met, and also, you were talking like an eldritch monster, so I'm kind of babbling. We don't actually have to get married, though. I mean, not if you don't want to. Okay, I'll shut up now. Round 1. Hmm. Dave, answer. Strider. Oh my fucking god. What? What do you mean, what? We just got done talking and agreed it would be awesome if you didn't bother me for a while. You know, like, while I guess I grieved over this brutally murdered rad family member or something.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
It was 5 seconds ago.
I think that was hours ago for me. I am a little foggy on all our chronological shenanigans at this point. There's been so much crazy stuff going on here, I have lost track.
So you're officially going nonlinear with me then? We're just forfeiting all rhyme or reason to this unmitigated clusterfuck, is that it?
Dave, your entire existence is nonlinear. Don't be so melodramatic.
Whoops, okay, in the future I'll try not to pitch any sort of dramatics while brooding over the cadavers of slaughtered loved ones.
Did you love him, Dave?
No.
But he was your strange human man, Lucis, who taught you to like cool things like swords and puppets and moving really fast. How could you not?
Puppets aren't cool. They're shitty, small, fake people who haunt your dreams and grin like permanent assholes. I was making a joke about being all broken up about it. A guy can be sad and make jokes at the same time.
You are sad, but not broken up about it? I don't understand.
Exactly.
But you said you were grieving.
I said we agreed you'd leave me alone to grieve. Didn't say whether I actually would or actually am.
Well, are you?
I am grieving to the max like a widow on Dead Husband Island. Behind these chill as fuck shades, my face is having this crazy attack of the sads. My rue is fucking bananas, can't you tell?
Ugh. No, I can't. You don't sound sincere, but it's so hard to tell what layer of irony removed from reality your flippant remarks are supposed to be. I am betting you really are sad, no matter how hilarious and aloof you think you are being.
The truth is a mystery, tucked behind the pursed lips of a shitty Riddler. They will be loosened only when presented with the conundrous grandeur of rigid, insoluble puzzlecock.
Blah, that makes no sense.
I'm sorry you are so flustered by the mere mention of glittering mythical crypto, Dick. It honestly makes me think you're not ready for the truth.
Dave, your perplexing euphemisms involving what I presume to be lewd and vaguely intriguing portions of human anatomy, I think, are not as hilarious as you probably believe. And in any case, you may be amazed to learn I am not totally in the mood for your dumb, smartassy hornswogglery. I have lots of my own problems here, and they are big, big problems. So why don't you just tell me what you were thinking for once?
Pretty simple. I'm just thinking about how I'm going to take this sword.
Yeah, I never really got why you wouldn't just pull it out.
Filthiest thing you ever said.
Huh?
Forget it. Pulling swords out of things isn't how I roll. I'm not John, remember?
I am not following.
I'm not a hero. My bro was. John is. I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No.
Yes, we all are. I am the hero of mind. You are the hero of time. That is who we were created to be.
Fine. It's a title we inherit as phlegm babies or whatever, but what have I done to earn it? Pretty much nothing but horsing around through time and swindling octogenarian alligators out of their life savings. If that sword's coming out of his chest, it's coming out clean. Taking it vertically means drawing more blood, but horizontally means a clean break. Check it.
No, don't.
Dave, break. Pap, 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 pap.
Wong. Dave, get up.
No, fuck that. I'ma lie my ass right down here for a while looking slightly less cool than I make myself out to be ordinarily.
You must stand tall. Only a true hero could pull off such an acrobatic fucking pirouette off that handle.
That is basically what I just did, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what I'm doing here. I'm making a point of making every little thing take place that was once mentioned in passing, no matter how seemingly trivial or pointless. That's how all the best adventures get strung together. You haven't heard me bleat like a goat for ironically humorous purposes yet, have you?
No.
That was something that was mentioned at some point by someone. I forget when or why. I bet you were on goddamn pins and needles waiting for that, waiting for that, aren't you?
Are you about to bleat like an earth goat, Dave?
And no, fuck that.
Hmm. Then will you at least get up?
No, fuck you. Go away.
Ah. Why do I do this to myself? What? Subject myself to the moody nonsense of curmudgeonly candy-blooded foul mouths. I don't know. Why are you even talking to me anyway? Aside from the fact that several hours from now you apparently forget I don't need consolation and ought to be left alone. Maybe it just so happens that for once this isn't about you. Maybe I am the one who needs some help. Has that occurred to you, Mr. Cool Kid? Oh. Anyway, I remember now. Sorry, everyone went kind of shithive here, and I got bitten, I think, and I kind of forgot where I left off with you. Bitten. What? But I remember this all fits into the. But I remember where this all fits into the chronology. You with your bro here. This was just before you begged me to finally show you how to reach God tier. So I did, and then you got mad at me. So you decided to go do your own thing for a while. And since then, I've been up to my pointy little nubs in suspense, intrigue, and betrayal. That sure sounds like a dumb way to say a thing. Almost exertion and elegant simplicity, stupidity. The T in exertion is soft, like shh. Oh, why would I get why would I get mad at you? Oh, you'll see. Okay, but yeah, I guess it's about time you showed me what's up with my allegedly futile god terrification. How long ago was it that you did your coin flip thing? I don't even remember. I was getting sure you were just bullshitting me and had no intention of ever mentioning it again. Unfortunately, no. Maybe I should take the opportunity to apologize in advance. Mm, for what? I don't think it will be constructive to go into it before it happens. Before what happens? You mean God tiering? Does something go wrong? Everything goes according to plan. That is all I will say. Remember, this conversation is kind of not supposed to be about you. I know the idea is unprecedented. Yeah, that's practically unthinkable. I know. But I mean, okay, I guess we can talk about your troll problem, but this is pretty important here, the god tier thing and whether I can actually do it or not. It might be kind of hard to tell on account of me chilling face down on the pavement and also because downplaying feelings is the chief rule of cool, but I'm pretty pissed about this, which is weird. It's weird to feel mad? Are you too cool for that too? No, it's not weird to be mad. It's just weird. It feels like I'm the only one who is. And the only one even contemplating taking Jack on, even among your group of irate, gnashing shitheads. Hey! What? Actually, you're right. It turns out we really do have kind of a lot of shitheads here. And also, as it happens, the worst one is the one who happens to be planning to take him on. Well, okay. And that would be a bitch in line to switch the subject to start talking about your complicated problems, but I kind of wasn't done. Fine. But for someone who just told me to fuck off, you sure are bending my ears suddenly. But okay, I mean, isn't that what heroes should be doing? Working to take down the bad guy without a whole lot of this fucking grandiloquence and these huge sweeping plans that got nothing to do with fighting him. Like always biding our time and tiptoeing around the unbeatable god boss. John's too nice to get mad. Rose spends all her time calculating, too focused on Machiavelli employs his sabotage to try anything drastic. Jade is, I don't even know, probably more of a liability if she got it in her head to take him down. If anything, I bet she just needs protection. Ugh. What are you saying here, Dave? In this conversation that is still being about you? I'm just wondering, when does someone actually step up? Jack's got shit to pay for. If that is how you feel, then I think our two problems are not really different. We are both presently concerned with justice. Yeah, I guess. I guess it has been on my mind. Maybe I'm supposed to be a hero and rise to the occasion because there seems to be this little persistent voice in my head nagging me about it, insisting someone's got to pay, and it's hard for me to disagree. Then it could mean one of two things, or both of the two things, like it did for me. What things? It could mean that the agent presently influencing you is a conscience and or an exile. This is so completely illegal. I'm pretty sure I don't even have an exile. I've never heard any voices or anything. Anyway, you don't need a voice in your head to tell you this shit is just, like, so completely illegal. Eh? Wait, why did I just say that stupid thing I said? This atrocity cannot go unpunished. Throw whoever is responsible into the slammer.
Slammer means jail, by the way.
Dave, I did not realize you had such a passion for law enforcement. I must say, this shocking development is coming dangerously close to giving me a case of the vapors.
No, I mean, okay, that came out wrong. What were we even talking about again?
Bringing Jack to justice?
Right. Someone has to make him pay. It can't let him just let him go unpunished. If I can figure out how to reach the god tier, maybe I can be the one to throw him into the slammer.
The slammer?
Slammer means jail.
I know what the slammer means.
You call it the slammer when you're extra angry at crimes. You call it the slammer when you are extra angry at crimes. Take a note of that important principle, because I am deputizing you, even though you are a kid. Are you taking notes on this important principle? Jesus, get a fucking pen or some chalk or whatever.
I think I am following. You are going to find Jack and put him in jail?
Wait. Fuck. What? No.
Dave, I know you are likely discombobulated with grief over your fallen manbro Lucis, but that is extremely silly and doesn't make any sense.
I know it doesn't. I'm just saying. What am I even saying here? Shit. But only while I am away from my jurisdiction, which I think is forever. Bring the criminals to justice, young deputy. Each munitions agent must pay for their each mutinous agent must pay for their crimes.
I'm still not sure. You're talking about throwing Jack in the slammer and rambling about justice and telling me to get pens and such. Not that I am complaining.
Okay, forget the slammer stuff. That was stupid. It is about justice, though, and since no one else seems to give a shit about it, that it apparently falls in my jurisdiction now. Not just going after Jack, but all the mutinous agents responsible for crimes.
Agents?
Holy shit, why do I care about that suddenly?
What?
Anyway, that's just more shit that popped into my head just now, so okay. I have other duties to attend to.
Well, Noir's cronies are exploitable. Are you saying you have a plan that involves targeting them?
Not really, no. Anyway, it's not like being mad about this and hankering for justice is even the only rational thing I'm currently hot and bothered about. I have other duties to attend to.
Like what?
I must explode this ridiculously illegal edifice. I've got to explode this ridiculously illegal edifice. Oh my god, what are these words I'm saying?
You have to explode something?
Never mind.
Are you referring to your plan to blow up the green sun?
Oh, yeah, that's gotta be what I'm talking about. Probably. I need to shut up now. I'm starting to sound like an idiot. My head is hurting. So why don't we talk about your thing now? What justice thing do you have to do?
You mean it's actually my turn to talk?
Yes.
But I was beginning to forget my problem in listening to your highly enjoyable befuddlement.
Just please tell me your justice problem and make me stop saying stuff. Farewell.
Farewell? Wait!
No, I mean, god damn it, I'm not leaving. Farewell is not even a thing I would even ever say. Jesus, what am I, a Victorian poet? Can you show me a little respect and assume that anytime I say something stupid, it just means I've been temporarily replaced with a pod person? That's what a real friend would do.
Okay, Dave. I will show some sensitivity and cast suspicion on the intellectual merit of everything you have ever said.
Thank you.
I will further demonstrate my friendship by dominating the rest of this conversation with lengthy accounts of my emotional tribulations, leaving no space for you to submit any amusing outbursts.
That sounds awesome.
Quiet! Now, where was I?
Justice problems.
Oh, yes, of course. You see, our aims are not that dissimilar. Our pursuits of justice, I mean. But yours is motivated by anger in the heat of the moment, which is blinding you to the consequences of attempting something very foolish. You are far too cool to succumb to anything like that, which is why you will come to your senses shortly. My situation is a little more complicated. It's less personal, though once it was a grudge which propelled our rivalry. Now its resolution has become a matter of practicality, if not professionalism, businesslike, the way a true legislator conducts her prosecutions. Dave, did you know that centuries ago on my planet, legislators were not confined to stuffy court blocks arguing cases before his honorable tyranny? Oh shit, are you fucking serious? Yes! Also, shush. I know you are sassing me due to my use of terms unfamiliar to humans, but it is true. They were deployed throughout the galaxy to apprehend criminals by any means necessary. No, I got that they're like your alien death lawyers who were sort of like bounty hunters in olden times. Pretty simple to decipher through context. I thought I told you to be quiet. I am monologuing here. Anyway, they would not rest until their suspect was in custody, one way or another. They would gather evidence over the course of the investigation, compiling a case to be presented at the trial, should one be held before the final submission of the guilty corpse to judicial authorities. Personal feelings and vendettas did not matter, nor did even the nature of the crime. Only justice did. They were selected for their cunning and martial prowess, and for their ability to understand the minds of the criminals they sought. This is why the burden has to be mine, I think. I am the only one who knows how to handle her. As such, she is my responsibility. She? Shoosh. Okay, I can't even make little interrogative quips to grease the wheels of your monologue. Oh, yes, that's okay. In fact, it's very helpful. Who do you think? Spider Troll. You are correct. The spideriest one of all. You've decided to take her down, then? I guess so. You don't sound that psyched about it. Well, I'm here talking to you about it instead of actually doing it, aren't I? Are you feeling guilty? Like second guessing whether she deserves it? Not exactly. Hasn't she done enough terrible shit to warrant legislation? That's not a thing. But yes, the case against her is overwhelming. More than you even know. She's completely out of control now. She has murdered at least one of my good friends, and possibly several others. I am not sure yet. The circumstances are a little fishy, but my investigation is ongoing. Additionally, I have discovered she is complicit in Jack's rise to power. When I first learned he came from your session, I mistakenly blamed you all and took it out on a hapless Egbert. But if anyone is to pay for releasing that demon on both of our groups, it is her. Are you sure about that? Yes, and she knows I know. She's been taunting me, trying to stir up our old rivalry. That is what this whole John versus Dave thing here has been about. There is no John versus Dave thing, though. I know, not really. It's just a game. But the game is serious business to her, like it was during our role playing days. And just like then, she's ruined everything by taking it too far. And in spite of all her past crimes, these are not even the most important reasons to stop her. She has decided to fight Jack herself, which is an extremely dangerous and stupid thing to do. Sound familiar, Dave? Are you going to stop me too, then? Hunt me down and lawyer eviscerate me for my own good? No, I'll just let you try to reach the god tier and then decide for yourself. Are you saying that I won't make god tier or I won't be strong enough if I do? Objection! What? We are talking about you again. I motion that all Dave-centric testimony be stricken from the record. Lame motion, overruled. The judge wants to see where this is going. No, he doesn't. You know perfectly well he doesn't give a shit. He will clear this court block if he does not have order. He swears to Gigas. Okay, fine. We can keep obsessing over your fucked up Kisma sister if you want. It's not like that. Do you think she stands a chance against him? No. Then what's the big deal? Why not let her go get her shit ruined by Jack and let justice happen that way? Because I am quite sure that if she goes to find him, it will tip him off to our location in the Vale. I have seen it already. That is why this is no simple vendetta. Bringing her to justice is critical to our survival. So why don't you do it? Because I'm not sure if I can. You mean you can't beat her in a fight? No, it's not that. It's just that when the time comes, I'm not sure if I will be able to kill her. I thought trolls were all about gratuitous murderings. Yes, it's true. We are supposed to revel in bloodshed as we grow up, and she seems to be embracing her rite of passage with reckless abandon, as I would expect. Grabbing the bull by the horns, so to speak. It's a little intimidating, because I'm not sure if I'm ready for all that, which I guess is normal. Are you asking me to reassure you about that? Because I seriously don't have a clue. It's okay, Dave. Still monologuing. I guess I am not so much worried about not being ready as I am that I might not actually want to be ready. Maybe ever. Maybe there's something wrong with me.
I don't understand. I thought you were insane kinds of apeshit over the macabre stuff. Like being all cutesy about executions and smelling cherry blood and such things contrived to get a guy feeling vaguely uncomfortable. Was that all an act?
Not an act, just fun. I like fun, Dave, and I also like games. Don't you like fun and games?
Of course the fuck not.
Liar.
Didn't you say you've killed people before?
There is a big difference between manipulating people to their doom with trickery and killing someone by your own hand. It is a bit like having to face your own death and discovering the difference between leaving the responsibility to someone else and doing the dirty work yourself. Maybe you'll understand someday.
Okay, I'd like to help you, but I don't know what advice I should be giving to a member of a murderous species who's gun shy on going off to justice murder, a murder happy murderer who's done lots of murders. Feels pretty weird and inappropriate for me to be the one to tell you, fuck yes, go for it. She's got this huge murder with her name on it, anyways, and it's bruising and it's cruising right at her down Comeuppance Boulevard. So I don't know. Do you want me to tell you to be a better human or to be a better troll?
I can't tell you what to advise me, you chump ass. Maybe I'm not even looking for advice per se, but just want to talk to someone about it.
All right, well, all I'll say is maybe if you kill her, at least we can finally stop obsessing over her.
Sign. Yeah, fair enough.
Why don't you just do what you think you have to do, and I'll do the same. Speaking of which,
Oh, right. You'll be bugging me about showing you how to reach the God tier soon. Prompted by this very conversation, I imagine. Who'd have thought?
these time shenanigans completely blindsided us. They practically never even happened.
I know.
So I hang up now with future you and then start pestering present you about it. Is that how it works?
Yes.
And I make sure not to reference anything said here to keep it simple, except like in an offhand way that'll seem retroactively logical to your future self, i.e., you, right now, if for no other reason than it'd be boring as hell to rehash it.
That sounds about right, but what do I know? You're the time guy after all. Luckily, I will not have to participate in these charades this time around.
Does luck actually matter? Exit. End of year 2. Remove disk 1. Insert disk 2. Disk 2 is missing. Keep playing anyway.
You have no idea what the hell this thing is, or why you would even need another disc.
You just capture log it and proceed. There is justice to be done, and you are running out of time. Terezi, proceed. You cannot control Terezi. How can you possibly expect to play this game when you have lost the game disc? All you can do is watch what she decides to do. You find a note stuck to the floor with Nepetta's claw. Oh crap. You find a note stuck to the floor with Nepetta's claw. It appears to be addressed to you, written on a page torn from the journal of Vriska's ancestor. Her taunts are becoming increasingly flagrant. It also appears to be written in purple blood. Oh, you wouldn't dare to harm sweet precious Gamzee, would she? The thought is almost more than you can bear. You were going to throw the book at her. Terezi, read note. Amazing. Terezi, wake up.
You cannot wake up because you were not actually asleep. You were just taking a breather in this nice, cozy pile of horrifically mutilated scalemates, which were gathered here to break your fall for some reason. You wonder where you are. This is a fancy looking room. It doesn't look like a place you would expect to find on this meteor, at least not in any strictly canonical capacity. Examine surroundings. This dapper Kiwi suited gentleman is quite familiar. You're almost positive he made an appearance in that very crowded dream you had recently. Oh, where did he go? Something in this room smells funny and fast. Climb stairs. You cannot ascend. The staircase is suffering from a catastrophic horn clog. Exit door. The door is locked. You will either need a key or to break it down with force. You would need to achieve an especially heightened state of determination to pull that off, though. You have been completely hornswoggled. This whole thing was a setup from the start, a trap deployed by a cunning mastermind. All of the clues are adding up. The blood, the note, the flagrant displays of tricksterism and japery. The identity of the puppet master behind all of this is now painfully obvious to you. Spider Troll. Terezi, play records. You select appropriate crime-solving music to set the right mood. With this kind of atmosphere, it is highly unlikely that any crime will stay unsolved for long. Hmm.
I hate a moral coward, one who lacks the manly spark. I just detest a man afraid to go home in the dark. I always spend my evenings where there's woman, wine, and song. But like a man, I always bring my little wife along. I'm a member of the midnight crew. I'm a night owl and a wise bird too. Home with the milk in the morning, singing the same old song. Rise with the moon, go to bed with the sun. Early to bed and you'll miss all the fun. Bring your wife in trouble, it will never trouble you. Make her a member of the midnight crew.
No, no. This vaudevillian vaudevillian cornball nonsense will not do at all. The mood is just not right for figuring out crimes. You put the record back in its sleeve. Examine cover. Who's this douchebag?
I'm going to give you a great song now by Eddie Morton, one of my favorite ragtime era performers on record, who was actually a former Philadelphia police officer before he made it big on vaudeville and then became a recording artist with such record companies as Victor and Columbia. So here he is with a song he did in 1909 called I'm a Member of Midnight Crew. Mr. Eddie Morton.
That's amazing. It's the same exact song.
I hate a moral coward, one who lacks the manly spark. I just detest a man.
Nice. Before you can make heads or tails of who exactly this douchebag is, something rolls out of the sleeve. It appears to be a very small record. It's so small. What is such a small record doing in this great big sleeve? You got Homestuck Disc 2. You cannot get over how tiny this record is. It's adorable. You wonder what sort of music it plays. Terezi, play Tiny Record. Predictably, you scratch the surface of the disc. What were you expecting? It's almost like you don't even know what a CD is. With the disc damaged, who knows what sort of effects it will have on the data? Better store it somewhere safe to prevent any more mishaps. Capture log disc. It should be perfectly safe from any similar kinds of damage while secured in your scratch and sift modus. Examine chess. You've spent way too much time calibrating the ambiance of your investigation and not nearly enough time investigating. It is one of the most common pitfalls of being an investigator. Aside from literal pitfalls, which you actually fall into, there are 2 chests in the secret room. Nothing out of the ordinary. Chests are everywhere in this lab, and people find it all too tempting to sneak their personal belongings into them for safekeeping. That is until the goods are stolen away shortly after by those who can't resist looting every chest they encounter, which is everybody. Maybe these ones contain clues. Open chest. You got your neophyte red glare role-playing outfit. What is this doing in here? You've not worn it since your flarping days. The only part of it you kept on hand was the stylish pair of glasses, which of course, since the incident, have managed to become a regular accessory. But you cannot imagine how someone could have gotten their hands on the rest of it. Surely a crafty and resourceful criminal is at work. Spider troll, spider troll, spider troll. Wear suit. You don the garb of the legendary Legis Lacerator. It brings back memories of many successful fantasy prosecutions, resulting in the real executions of rival players. Those were the days. Open other chest. You got your Pyralspite plush. Pyralspite was your scalemate sidekick during your campaigns. He was the model of loyalty, friendship, and righteous retribution. More than can be said for any other partner in justice. There is no doubt to it anymore. She is clearly baiting you into confrontation. You mean baiting. Terezi, hug Pyralspite. You embrace your old friend, releasing a mighty and majestic squeak. It has been too long, old friend. You vow to never let him out of your scent again. Honk. This puppet is becoming a nuisance. It appears to exhibit the same incredible puppet fastness properties which Dave's had. Must be some form of universal puppet enchantment. It couldn't possibly be the same one, because that would just be insane. Hey, where did Pyralspite go? Look up. There he is. How'd he get all the way up there? He has always been quite the slippery scalawag. Maybe he was reminding you to check out the note. You almost forgot it was up there, what with all your furious investigating. Most of which has involved fooling around with records, hugging plush toys, and cosplaying as a childhood heroine. Read it. Just as you thought. It is a message from Vriska summoning you to do battle. It is written in Gamzee's rich, jelly-smelling blood, but it is her handwriting for sure. Her quirk is present, leaving the matter undebatable. But why the hell does she want you to bring the stupid puppet along? She's so weird. There is a journal entry on the back. It probably isn't the slightest bit relevant to the current situation, but you guess it couldn't hurt to read it anyway. Examine journal entry. 1 second. Yeah, I'm just gonna read this singular, and that'll be the end. Terezi, examine journal entry. I suppose I'll have to get used to writing with this hand instead. I now do so in captivity, while I bring my awe to bear on the immensity of the subjugulator's high jinks. I took their gesture as plain avowal of my prosecution's futility. With a lone neophyte assigned to the task, how could I view it otherwise? I was sure they'd drawn from the bottom of their deck, not intending to squander more competent mercenaries on one who'd made a show of outclassing them all before. But I discovered all too late that Red Glare was their wild card all along. How is one allowed to be raised by a dragon in this era? Let alone one of such middling blood, the sickly hue of a gutless civil servant. Those of her caste are typically pleased to mount a sluggish collar bear, or some brainless squawking spleen fowl during petty expeditions to plaster seizure notices on gamblignant property. By what fluke was this woman granted such a weapon, permitting her to luxuriate in these delusions of righteousness? Something blocked the light of the unbitten moon, treating the harbor to darkness more grim than what fell this season's apogee. I made the mistake of looking into its eyes, each like a sun concentrated into a small jewel, as two hot garnets searing through a black veil. I shut mine quickly, but the more sensitive of them was burned irreparably. When I regained sight in the other, there was only red. My fleet was in flames. The neophyte was on deck. Pyrospite she mentioned through a ridiculous forced grin. She wanted me to know the name of the beast which was able to consume my Lucis whole. My dice were in the hold below. Not that my present luck would consent to a favorable roll anyway. I made a move for my blade. She took my arm, which I'm sure she kept as the tiniest of snacks for her ostentatious custodian. Maybe she meant to prove she wouldn't need me in irons to have my submission? Bound or free. 2, 1, or none. I wonder how well she knows it's not what I do with my arms she has to fear. I await my trial. And additionally, I await next week and my next stream. Thank you for showing up for the stream today. It was nice having you, and I look forward to the next stream. I look forward to finishing Act 5, Act 2 soon. Hopefully. We'll see. Thank for come to stream. And hope have great night. Mwah.